Debonair Kovacs again. I'm back with 40 Ways My Labyrinth is Like My Life. And today is a little bit different. We're going to put two together. Number 32, it reminds me of the Fibonacci series. Number 33, that is the golden spiral around which everything's created. Odd, I know, but here's the story. When these 40 ways were created as Twitter posts, and you all know about the 140 characters, right? This had to be two pieces. I couldn't make it fit in one. But it doesn't make sense to make two separate devotionals out of them. So we'll have 39 Lenten devotionals and one for Easter in this book. And I had forgotten that when I started out. The Fibonacci series, for those who don't know, is a series of numbers beginning with 0, 1, and from then on, each number is the sum of the last two. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, etc. It's named after a man named Leonardo of Pisa, who was also known as Fibonacci. He was the one who introduced the concept to Western mathematics in 1202, although it had already been described even earlier than that in Indian mathematics. If you plot these numbers on a graph, they create an enlarging spiral that will look very familiar to you. Perhaps you'll know why. Hey, that looks like a chambered nautilus. Or perhaps you'll just think vaguely, that looks familiar, I wonder where I've seen it before. The answer is everywhere. When I put Fibonacci into Google, you should try that. The third website on the list was titled The Fibonacci Numbers and the Golden Section in Nature, and included hundreds of ways you can see these patterns. The golden section is also called the golden mean, the golden ratio, and divine proportion. You could call it a visual representation of the Fibonacci series, or numbers, or sequence. And it's literally found all over the natural world, from the spiral of hairs in your cowlick, to the seeds of a sunflower, to the end of a pine cone. Put any of the above words into Google Images and you'll see hundreds of astounding things. I think the divine proportion is truly divine. I think it's the fingerprint of the Creator. My labyrinth reminds me of it, and in the midst of all the chaos of seemingly random and senseless events that fill our lives, like alopecia in someone who therefore has no cowlick, a diseased sunflower that doesn't produce seeds at all, or a stunted pine cone, or a pandemic that's currently taken over the world as I read this, it's comforting to think there's some kind of underlying pattern, whether it's always visible or not. Life, right down to its DNA, seems to move in endless spirals, growing outward larger and larger from the spinning of atoms to the spinning of galaxies. So do the seasons roll, and so does my life and yours come around again and give us a kind of second chances. In Elizabeth Gouge's book, The Scent of Water, which I highly recommend, a character reassures another that life is like beads on a string, and the loving acts you didn't succeed in performing for someone earlier in your life, and now you live in regret, will come around again, and you'll get a chance to try again to be loving, not to that same person, but to another brother or sister in the circle of life. But there is a center. There is an end to the path. Today might be the last chance you get to love, so grab it. Add together the amount of love you could give yesterday and the amount you could give today, and give that much tomorrow. And see you next time.